Welcome back, everybody, to the Big Moon Arcade. We're going to go ahead and continue on with our closer look at each one of the machines. And today, we're actually here early on Saturday morning. Usually I say tonight because usually I'm doing these at night. But today, we're going to talk about Berzerk. I can't say enough about Berzerk because it is absolutely one of my total favorite all-time games. It is awesome, and this game has a story. This is the only game ever that I purchased on eBay. I'm not a big fan of eBay because stuff's just so stupidly expensive a lot of times. But that's where I got this one. And the reason was, it's the only place I could find one. It is not an easy game to find. I wouldn't say that it's a rare game, but it's not an easy game to find. And there was none around my neck of the woods, which, if you don't know, is northern Alabama. So this game belonged to Rob Burke. If you don't know who Rob Burke is, he runs the Pinball Expo up there in the Chicago area every year. Hugely well known in the pinball/arcade community. Super cool guy. Actually talked to him on the phone during this transaction, and actually even sent him pictures of the machine after I fixed it. And he was super stoked about it, which was awesome. I'm going to put some pictures in this video, and they speak for themselves. So this game was a complete and utter train wreck to the point where it couldn't even stand up under its own weight because the bottom had been completely rotted out from being underwater. It had all the parts in it. It had a 4600 monitor in it, which, believe it or not, worked. It has a K7000 monitor in it now, but I did rebuild the 4600 that was in it and got it working. Of course, the electronics in these, if you don't know, these have like a door right here. This door opens up, and originally the whole thing, there was a big shelf that slid out, and that had all the circuit boards on it. Of course, those boards, one of the reasons you don't see a lot of these games is because they're very hard to keep running. There's tons and tons of little connectors, ribbon cables. There's a whole mess of circuit boards all linked together. And back in the day, you know, when they stopped working, people didn't really know how to work on them because they were a lot more complex than the usual games people had at the time. And so, you know, they just got converted into something else or whatever. So this one, actually, I took all the original electronics and wiring harnesses and all that stuff, and they made their way to my buddy Sean Dodson up in Michigan. If you don't know who Sean is, he has a channel called Classic Arcade Repairs. The man can fix anything. He's a master Jedi, and if you've got a PCB, an old vintage PCB, he can fix it. And if he can't, it can't be fixed. So all the guts of this thing ended up with him because that's where they needed to be, because he can fix them. And Berzerk is also one of his favorite games. And he's currently fixing one himself right now. So let's fire it up here. Echo. Echo. Berzerk.
Okay.
I love it. I love it, people. Listen. One of the very first games that had speech. Coins detected in pocket. Now, how did it know that? It's crazy. So, yeah, it has speech, and it's really cool. It mocks you as you play if you run out before you kill all the robots. Yeah, it's just awesome. So, let me talk about the guts in this thing a little bit. The power supply and everything is totally, I mean, the inside of this is totally different than original. And I mean, that's a little sad to admit, but this runs a J-Rock board, which is an FPGA board for Berzerk. So it actually has Frenzy in it as well. And a couple different versions of Berzerk that you can play on this cabinet. I've got it set just to run the original version here. So looking at it from the outside, you would never know that it doesn't have all the original hardware in it, but based upon the condition that the original stuff was in, I didn't really have, you know, based on my skill set, which is not at the absolute top, but it's pretty good, but it's not, you know, the best. I put a J-Rock board in it and a JAMA wiring harness and reproduction control panel here, which is all stainless steel silkscreen printed. This is a groovy Game Gear 8-way Dominic's 8 joystick. Awesome. And you know, these came both ways. These came with a Wicca joystick, which, you know, this is basically a modern day Wicca, and but better. And also, you know, the original ones had the bat stick on it, which was an optical joystick, and frankly, those things look really cool, but they sucked. So at any rate, there it is, people. So I'm gonna throw some pictures of it up here real quick, and you can see kind of the condition that it was in when I got it. And look at it now, though. The entire bottom of this thing is all new. And particularly in the arcade lighting, you can't see where the old wood starts and the new wood's, you know, it looks all like, it looks great. It's one of my favorite games. The art's all original on the side. It's just awesome, and I just love it. So I appreciate you coming along. Check out these photos, and I'll be back here after the pictures. So what did I pay for this game? Well, like I said, I bought it on eBay, and I paid around $600 for it. I don't remember exactly. And it was in Ohio, so I had to have it shipped on a truck, and that was about, I think that was about $400. So I was in it about $1,000, and it came on a pallet, and it was laying on its back because it couldn't stand up because it was rotted out in the bottom. So I had a $1,000 Berzerk cabinet that nothing worked, and it looked like crap. So, you know, I was thinking, wow, that's really money well spent, but, you know, that was the only one I could find. So, but, you know, look at it now, people. It's awesome now. It's super cool. So, yeah, see what I was saying? That thing was a mess, people. Did a lot of work on it. But that's one of the absolute thrilling parts of this hobby, is to get something like this that was that big of a mess and look at it today, you know. It's very satisfying to see it come back to life and kind of return to its original glory. And the reality is, you know, if I didn't fix this machine, hey, you know what? Maybe nobody probably ever would have. Maybe somebody would have, but maybe not. So, but it's fixed now, and it's awesome, and I love it. And I appreciate you coming along and checking it out with us. So, wherever you are and whoever you are, I hope you have a great day. And we will see you back at the Big Moon on the next video.